I wish he showed up. Anyway, we're up to Mem Beis Amid Beis. Today's daf is basically Masech the Para. Mamish Masech the Para. It goes to the Para Duma and has a very, very interesting intro by Ula. Basically, is that the psukim don't follow each other. To go ahead and try to find a seder in the psukim that should be consistent is very, very, very difficult. It seems to be that I guess the English word they use today is the narrative. That's a good term. The narrative. The narrative changes from pasuk to pasuk. In other words, in one pasuk it's the kayin. In the next pasuk it's a zar. The next pasuk it's some puzzle. It doesn't have one consistent flow to it. No, that's a theme. It's paraduma, right? Someone's putting words in my mouth, but I'll hold it against you. But on the other hand, so let's go through the parsha a little bit. We'll go through the parsha, and we'll see. Just the means of introduction. So the parsha paradum is parshas chukas, parshas para. Some people hold it's the Raisa, which b'yotza. Don't say Baruch Hashem, right? Vaydaber shel Moshe v'Aaron leimar zoischuch satar shetziv Hashem leimar daber el bnei Yisrael v'yichu lecha paradum etmima asher ein bo imum asher lo ola ala oil couldn't have a mum no oil. Now this pasuk we're going to unesatem oisa unesatem you should give it to who Elazar Cohen. Now this is unique, fellas. Elazar was the Sagan Kohen Gadol. He wasn't the Kohen Gadol. Aaron was. He wasn't the Kohen Hedjit, right? Isama was. He was the Sagan. So is this a din in Sagan that the Sagan always has to be the one who does the paradum or not? Or no, can the Kohen Gadol do it? The Gemara is going to have a shayla, whether it's a Kohen Gadol or a Kohen Hedjit can do it. In other words, so this is an example of this jumping around from pasuk to pasuk. So over here, you should give it to Elazar Kohen, and what should he do with it? He should take it outside the machne. Again, we spoke about the aqueduct that was built because Tumas had the Hoim, because the Maila, every Kohen Gadol built. We said that they spent an exuberant amount of money during the Bayasheni. It should be named after them, and they would build this thing because of Tumas at the Hoim. You couldn't see the sides, and they went because the Machne v'Shachrai Solofon of, and you should shech in front of him. We saw yesterday Machloek. We got into this. We saw yesterday Machloekas Rav and Shmuel. According to Rav, it's psula bizarre, and only the kohen has to do it. The kohen has to do it, and according to Shmuel, the shachar salafon of the kohen just has to see it, but a zor can do it. That was Machloekas Rav and Shmuel yesterday. That's how we segued into this whole paratayra. So he's going to take the dam of the shchita. So the assumption is there was a shchita and there was the Kabbalah. He takes the blood with his finger. He then goes ahead and proceeds to spritz towards the noyach opposite the oil moed. Again, he's on harazesim, guys. It's not a carbon. He's on harazesim. He's looking down into the oil moed, and we know we can see it because the eastern wall is lower. We're experts at that. And he's throwing in the blood. It spits 7 times. He's sprinkling it towards the oil moed, which is the opening of the ulam. Sheva pamim. The sarf es apara le'einov. And now, who's going to burn it? You're speaking about Elazar, and you'll burn the parla enough. So that's what it means that the narrative goes back and forth between who exactly it's speaking about. The surface of parla enough, ves oira, it's his skin, ves psara, it's flesh, ves dam, it's blood, it's pirsha, it's refuse. Yisrof, you burn all of it. Now, guys, all of a sudden the surface of parla. Now back to what? Right? No, it goes back. Look at Kohen. What? The eyes of a person. Yeah. There's a mitzvah to take an eitzera, this piece of cedar wood, a high sap, and red thread, which we discussed yesterday, exactly whether it was supposed to be 10 zuz or 8 zuz or 4 zuz. When we have machlokes tanoim, whether it has COVID, not COVID, whether it COVID, it had what? It had weight to it, right? And v'hishlech al techseris sapar, he throws it into the fire. V'chimis begadav hakoyin, he washes his clothing after he's tamei. V'rochetz b'sar b'mayim v'yacha yavei el hamachli. V'tamei hakoyin ad ha'arev, and the koyin will be he'll be tamei until the evening. He'll be tamei until the evening. And the one who burns it, Yichabes Begodav, the one who burns the Yichabes Begodav should wash his clothing, Bamayim, V'rochas Besor Bamayim, Uvitame Ad Arev. For Osiv, Ishtar is Eifa Para, and Ishtar should gather the Eifa the Para, Hineach and Chutz Lamachne, leave it, Chutz Lamachne, B'macham Tar, in a place of Tar, V'hoisel La'adus B'nei Yisrael Mishmeres, it should be there for B'nai Yisrael as a watching. L'meinida chatas, we call it a chatas. It's not a karma chatas. And of course, you're going to go ahead and mix it on day 3 or 7. A person is tummy to space, and then you'll be matar the person. V'chibes oisav v'seifa pares begadav v'tamei ad arev v'oisav B'nai Yisrael v'lagera gar b'slechem l'kuasalim and agav and mason. Basically, I think that we can do that. Okay. Anything more over here? No, I think that's basically it. Okay. So now, as a means of introduction, you could see how the pasuk jumps around. And we don't get a consistency of who does what. We know certain psukim is akbar, what about the other psukim? And that's what we're going to try to analyze today. So we're really doing an analyzation of Bamidbar, your test, the Inyan of Parah. This is Masech the Parah. Of course, Masech the Parah is much bigger. This is the sugya. So that's why I stopped yesterday a little high. You're probably wondering why I stopped early, because this is the segue. So we're about 16 lines up. Ama'ula. If you see the Taisus Afani Avi, 2 lines above that. Guys, good? Ama'ula, Kala Parsha Kula, Mashma Moitzimiyad, Mashma Umashma Memela. Very funny Lashon. Look at Rashi. Got very funny Lashon. I couldn't type it so well. Look at Rashi. Mashma Moitzimiyad, Mashma Memela. Kishetigdek Ba, when you look into the matter, when you look into the inyan of Paraduma, Ein Chiyachal Hashvais Shita Parsha B'Shava. You're not able to go ahead and equate the whole parsha equally, meaning you can't learn a consistent person throughout the parsha. Sheyu kol mikroi shavim, that all the psukim should be equal zeh im zeh. Eliyesh mem shemashma mikra zeh, moitzi michal mashma mikra shalfanav. One pasuk mashma that goes out from the one before it, right? The first one speaking about the kohen showing v'saraf, and then masha pasal zeh hichshe zeh, and this one will be pasal and mikasha, or masha hichshe zeh pasal zeh. So that's, and however, that it stays consistent. The mashmo stays in its place. Very, very funny lashon. Very, you understand it since we went through it. You understand exactly what we're trying to do. Okay, so let's go back to it now. So Ula says Ula. When you look into this parsha, when you look at the whole parsha of Parshas Chukas, mashma moitzim yad mashma memela. It says Satem oisa el azra kayin. Right, you should give the paraduma to Elazar HaKohen. Now, who's Elazar, guys? He's the Sagan. That's the very unique parsha. We usually have a Kohen Hedget. We usually have a Kohen Gadol. What do we have here? A Sagan. A Sagan is just a replacement, right? But over here, we're going to say Elazar. Why Elazar? It's Sagan. Ikadiyami L'Doiris. There are those. Okay, Elazar HaKohen. Oisal Elazar. V'le L'Doiris Elazar. There's meaning only the one in the midbar was done by the Sagan. The future guys will not be done by the Sagan. Only the midbar was done by the Sagan. But Doirais, future generations, that will be not the Sagan. Ikadiyami, others say no. The Doirais became Gadol, the Ikadiyami, the Doirais became Hedget. So in other words, everyone's maida that what? That Sagan was only in the midbar. Now, so it's not the Sagan. So who is it? Who is it? Kohen Gadol, Kohen Hedget. When in the world be Kohen Gadol? Kohen Gadol, Bishleim Maniyam Daris Kohen Hedget Shapir. It's just another avoida of the Kohen. According to my way of thinking, the only thing the Kohen Gadol does is he brings the minchas chavitin every single day, twice a day, and he does the Kohen and he does Yom Kippur. Right? Now you're adding that what? He's the only one that does the paraduma. I guess now you understand why that he had built, the Kohen Gadol built his bridge. It's his paraduma, right? It was his thing. Elamandi, Amal Doris Kohen Gadol Minalon. Where do you know it's a Kohen Gadol? Shteitnit Azoi. It doesn't say that. It knows what's the default, guys. It says Elazar Sagan. V'nasata Oisa. Guys, what's the limit? Guys, look me. Oisa it. This one in the midbar will be Elazar. No other ones will be Elazar. What will you default to? The Kohen Gadol or Kohen Hedget? Kohen Hedget, clearly, right? Kohen Gadol is unique. You default to the Kohen Hedget. So the Gemara wants to know. The one that says Kohen Gadol, Minole, where do you know it from? You're defaulting to Kohen Gadol? Where does he know that from? And for the Gemara, Minole, Gomar Chuka Chuka Miyam Kippurim. He learns out chukah. It says chukah over there. It says chukah by so gzeir shava. It says an extra chukah by what by Yom Kippur. It says a chayk by what by paraduma. That goes in and establishes that the kohen gadol must be the one that does. Okay. Now then it says v'hoitzi oisa. You give it to him, and now he takes it out. Shalayotzi acheres ima. You can't take another animal out with it. You can't take another paraduma out with it. That's what we learn from v'hoitzi oisa. It only this animal. Kiditnan. V'hoitzi para roitzi lotzes. Let's say the animal doesn't want to go. Let's say the para is being a stubborn para, like he knows what's awaiting it, right? What? You're saying very good. Hey, might see you'll see you you meant to make a joke, but you have Mayer syndrome, so you're not funny. Hey, it's not your fault. He's your good friend. It's not your fault. If all this is rubbed off. Hey, might see him. Don't take a black animal out with it. Shlo yamru shechayra shachtu. In other words, you're going to take a black cow out. Maybe it has a chaver, a black cow. So you're going to take the black cow out. Don't take a black cow. And people say you're shechting a black cow. Like there's another paraduma, right? Like there's so many of them. But don't take another paraduma either. You shouldn't say that they shechted them twice, right? So now, the I saw. What's the hakpada on I saw? Only one and not two. No black, no red. Rabbi Omer loymin Hashem was there. That's not the reason. It's not that. No, it's possible. It's a svara. Don't take out a black one. They'll say you shechted a black one. Don't take out a red one. They'll say you shechted two reds. Right? No. It's a pasuk. Elamishushnama. I saw levada. Now the Tanakama haksiv I saw, but the Tanakama was giving a reason. Don't take out two. Why? Because it's going to say you have a black one and or two reds. Good. The Tanakama haksiv I saw. So why did he come up with a reason, guys? We have a pasuk. Why did it come up with a reason? Don't take out two because you may say you shech the black or you shech two reds, right? You don't need a reason. You got a pasuk. No, my Tana come Reb Shimon. The Tana's Reb Shimon, and we know throughout Kol Tarakula, guys, Reb Shimon, guys, is Darish time at the crop. Reb Shimon is the one who always looks for a reason for something. Darish time at the crop. Reb Shimon Darish time at the crop. Rashi brings by Almana by bringing out the mashkin. Says the Gemara, my binayu. What's the difference? Ikabinayu is the afik chamor bahada. You take out a mule. You take out a donkey, as I state. You take out a donkey with it. Light them on the amma that they're worried, that you made a mistake. There's no mistake. No, it's a trefer animal, so you would be able to take a mule, donkey, and take it out. Light them on the amma v'shachar I saw nothing else. It doesn't make a difference, right? You would not be able to take a mule there and take it out with you. That would be the difference between the two. Okay. So what do you have so far? We have Isa, we have one Isa and a Sat Isa, we have a Haitzi Isa, and now we have a third Isa. The Shachat Isa, it says you should shecht it. Don't take a long sakin and shecht two. Don't take, if you shecht one, that's one. Don't take a long sakin and shecht two. That's what we learned from there. Right. So therefore, so far we went through the parsha, and what do we have? We have that the Kohen Gadol, only the Sagan was in the midbar. In the future, some achloikas whether it's Kohen Hedjed, Kohen Gadol, Mandel Kohen Hedjed, that's the default. Mandel Kohen Gadol, Chuka, Eme Yom Kippur, and in fact, what? Don't take out another animal with it. It's either a pasuk I saw. Everyone learns the pasuk I saw. Time at the Kra would explain why you can go ahead and take a chamor. What?
How could you possibly shech two? You can only bring up one.
Let's say you had the second one there. Let's say it was it wasn't Haitzias. Let's say you weren't Haitzias. Don't shecht any animal with it. Don't shecht something else with it. Don't shecht something else with it. So now, V'shachar I saw, okay, the fun of, the pasuk says the fun of, V'shachar I saw the fun of, L'rav shlo yisech taitoi, mimena, that b'shah shchita you shouldn't have esach hadas. The Shmuel sheizor shoichit v'lo. This is how we got into this. Fellows, look at me. This is how we got into this. Remember, is para aduma kosher bizarre or not? It says Rav, it's puzzle. It says Shmuel, it's what? It's kosher. What Shmuel says? It says v'shachar yisov l'fun of. So he's watching it. So who's shechting it? Must be a zar. Rav says no. Shach l'fun of means each nev esach hadas. That's what we said yesterday. According to Shmuel, to bring it back to Elazar, why? Who was shechting it? According to Shmuel, Azar. So this is an example of, right? It's mitzi miyad mitzi. It's going back and forth, right? According to Shmuel, who shechted it Azar. So now, what does it say? And v'lokach Elazar kaimi dama. Who does the Kabbalah? Elazar. That's by l'Shmuel adure l'Elazar and l'Rav havi mirach hamiyat. It's one miyat after another miyat, and it's counterintuitive. But we always say ve'mirach hamiyat ela l'rabbis. The filo koyin hedjit. You don't need the Sagana koyin for the Kabbalah. It can even be the koyin hedjit. That's the mirach hamiyat to rabbis. I feel what a koyin hedjit to do what the Kabbalah. You can even a koyin hedjit to do the Kabbalah. Then it says v'lacha koyin eitz erev ve'eza ushnit pelas. And you're going to throw this in and burn it. The Shmuel, the afil of koyin hedjit. According to Shmuel, right, it's a fil of koyin hedjit. L'Rav itzrich. The sakha mean kiven the lav goof for the paraninu. Since it's not goof for the para, it's an extraneous thing. Loyli boy koyin. I would think you don't need a koyin. Kamashma, you need a koyin. The pasuk continues v'chibas begodav hakoyin, and it says v'chibas begodav hakoyin. When it says hakoyin, it's bekehuna, meaning he's wearing the big day kahuna. Fellas, this is outside the Beis Hamikdash. This is not a carbon, but he's wearing you have a limud that he's wearing the big day kahuna. Guys, see here? This is a chiddush, right? This is a chiddush. He's wearing, he's wearing the outside the Beis Hamikdash. What? No. You're leaving inside, especially if you hold that the avnei was made of shatnez. Right. Especially if you hold the avnei was made of shatnez, right? You can only do b'shas avoida, right? That's also true. They can be tired of clothing, I guess. They put it in the mikvah. Anyway, uv'tami hakoyin ad erev koyin b'kehunoi l'dayros, and the koyin v'tami hakoyin ad erev koyin b'kehunoi is l'dayros. What does Rashi say? V'tami hakoyin ad erev l'lamed al pora nasis l'dayros shetzricha big day kahuna. Not just Aaron, but even not just the Sagan. But L'Doris also needs it, right? Also L'Doris. Hanich l'madiyam L'Doris b'koyin hedjit shapir. L'madiyam L'Doris b'koyin gadol. Hashtu koyin gadol be'inyan b'kuna mi boy. Fellas, guys, look at me. You have a limud like this. You have this person is chutz l'machne. He is he's up in Harazesim. He's a koyin. He's a Sagana koyin. Does the avodah. He's doing the avodah in his clothing. Good. We have a limit to teach me that not only is that in the one-time deal in the midbar, but it even was what? It even was in the L'Dayros. We had a machlokes. Who does the future? The kohen gadol or the kohen hedjit, right? We said in the future it's not going to be the Sagan. Sagan was only then in the midbar. In the future, it's going to be a regular kohen gadol. Now you have a limit to teach me, and when the kohen gadol does the avodah, he has to be wearing his clothing. Guys, what? He's the kohen gadol. What else makes him a kohen gadol? I mean, just if the in the midbar they wore the kuna, they wore the clothing, right? And Mishlem a kohen hedjid, you have to tell me a kohen hedjid that he wears the clothing, because I guess maybe you think, well, it's not an avodah, but once you tell me it's akpad and the kohen gadol, of course he's going to wear it. It's like a double pashut that the kohen gadol will be wearing his clothing. Let's see Rashi. Hanichel man diyama le'el le'daris b'kohen hedjit v'le'gama chuka miyama kippurim itzrich l'michtav kohen hachel olamin atol darish, it has to be the huna. But according to man diyama, you're learning chuka. Guys, if you're learning from what? From Yom Kippur, just like the kohen gadol Yom Kippur is wearing the big kahuna, here is also wearing the kahuna. So my answer is what? My answer is very geschmack. And for the Gemara, milsa das v'kal v'chayim Torah v'gas l'kah. Something that you learn in the kal v'chayim, the Torah can trouble yourself and make. Milsa das v'kal v'chayim Torah v'gas l'kah. V'osav ishtar es efa hapara, and ishtar will gather the efa of the para. V'aniach ish, when it says ish, lahachsher es hazar. And ish does have this ish, meaning even a zar can gather in the ephah. This is the main part is to burn it. You burn it, now you have it. A sifa can be even a zar. And lahachsher and tahar. It says ve'asav ish tahar. It says tahar is lahachsher esa isha it's to be machsha a woman, that even a woman can go ahead and gather in, as we said yesterday, she can gather in the ashes. Mishi lachshes as tor lachshes isha v'niach and leave it. What does v'niach mean? It's a pasuk. Mishiyesh by das v'niach, who can go ahead and gather the ashes? Someone who has the das to go ahead and leave it. Yotz a cheresh shoyt of a cotton. This would exclude a cheresh shoyt of a cotton. This would exclude a cheresh shoyt of a cotton. Sheim b'hem das v'niach. The cheresh shoyt of a cotton, they don't have das to go ahead and leave it. So they won't be able to go ahead and gather the Tanan Hasan. Tanan Hasan. We learned out Hashem, that's the word. Tanan Hasan. Hakol Kasherim Lakadesh. Everyone is cautious of Kiddush. Kiddush is whether you put the ashes in first or you put the water in first. Machlokes, Rashi and Taisus. You see the second Taisus, guys. You have a chance. It's a nice Taisus. We don't have time. Hakol Kasherim Lakadesh. Chutz mi cheresh shoyt of a cotton, with the exception of a cheresh shoyt of a cotton. Rabbi Yehuda machshav a cotton. Now this is, guys, this is the act of Kiddush. This is not gathering it. This is not gathering it. This is mixing it, right? This is mixing it. So cheresh shoyt of a cotton cannot, according to the Tanakhama, cannot. Rabbi Yehuda machshav a cotton. The cotton could. The place will be isho bandroginus. My time at the Rabbanon, that the Chsiv, it says the lachu l'tamei may afa sreifas achatas. Hanich the pasul basifa. Those that are puzzled together, pasul b'kiddush. So cheresh shoyt of a cotton that are puzzled together, they're pasul b'kiddush. Again, it says v'niach, right? They can't go ahead and leave it. So Mamela, since cheresh shoyt of a cotton, not in the ballpark of v'niach of gathering, they're not in the ballpark of mixing. That's the Tanakama hakol kashay when chutz b'kiddush shoyt of a cotton. Right. Like a woman that's committed androgynous. Rabbi Yehuda, who excludes what? Rabbi Yehuda said a cotton could, but an ish androgynous is not. In Cain, if you want to say that a sifa and mixing it are the same, lemakrav v'lachach, my v'lachu, right? Double lashon lachu rabim that feel a cotton pasta. Just like a cotton is puzzled by asifa, that a cotton is puzzled even to mix it together. Right? That's what we said. It's puzzled that the cotton is puzzled. The cotton who puzzled the isha. Is what's the come to teach Rabbi Yehuda im kain lema krovalakach my velachu that feel the cotton the pasal chahaslam, even a cotton that they pasal by that sifa would be kasha hacha kasha. Here by the mixing would be kasha. Isha minale. Where do you know it's asa for a woman to mix the paraduma? Where do we know it's asa? It says v'nasan love mayim chayim akeli v'nasan v'loy v'lasna. It says v'nasan he and not her. For Abba that said that it's kasha for a woman. Because Rahman of Alakach for Nasan, just the lashon of Yachid of Zachar Havamina ad shakal chad the Yov chad. One person would go ahead right and take it's right, and one person would because Rahman of Alakach Havamina ad shakal chad the Yov chad, that the same person who did the lakicha has to do the kiddush. Because Rahman of Alakach, it could be two different people. Two different people. One person would do the asif, and one people do the mixing. Because Rahman of Allah v'nasnu havamina ad shakli tray. Two people v'yav tray. Two people have to do both. Because Rahman of Allah v'nasan that filu shakli chad v'yav chad, it works. Then the pasuk says v'lachu ezav v'tavel b'mayim. You take an ezav a high sap, you stick it in the water. V'mayim ish tahar. L'rabbanan ish v'la isha. Only a man can spitz and not a woman. V'la isha tahar. That a cotton could spitz the paraduma. Rabbi Yehuda ish v'lay cotton tar lahachsher esa isha, right? And ish v'lay cotton, a man to spitz this thing that's spitzing the paraduma. A man can spitz and not a cotton. A tar person can spitz lahachsher esa isha, that even an isha can spitz. So you have machlokes. Basically, Hakol Kshem Lahazis, everyone's a mutter to go ahead and spritz the paraduma, chutz mi tumtum v'adroignus, with the exception of a tumtum v'adroignus for isha v'cotton. The cotton sheyesh ba, she'ein ba das isha, she'ein ba das. Isha mesayasai, umazeh. V'loi polig Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yehuda didn't argue. So here's the kasha. Before you said Rabbi Yehuda argues and says that a woman can't what? A woman can't. Rabbi Yehuda says isha, like on Torah, laksha, that's isha. Hakol Kshem Lahazis, that's speaking. According to Rabbi Yehuda before, what did Rabbi Yehuda say? That a woman can't spritz. So why doesn't he argue over here? It says over here, Hakol Kshem Lahazis, chutz mitumtum adroignus v'isha, a woman can't. The cotton badei v'isha miseh, like Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda said before, excuse me, Rabbi Yehuda said a woman could spritz. A woman can spritz. Over here, we said a woman can't spritz. Why is Rabbi Yehuda arguing? Rabbi, even the Amamar, mashma moitzi miyad mashma mela. Since Ula said that the pasuk's mashma, it's in the ballpark, it's out of the ballpark. The mela polik, the mela he argues. In other words, it's no consistency. He just simply argues. Says Rashi, even the Amar the atal korchach leimatzos lamema behind the mashma melahu korchach pligi a korchach what he argues. Okay. One more. Okay, this is a little vita. Let me see. I had a synopsis. I had an art scroll as a good chart over here to go ahead and here you go. If you have your phone, I'll send it to your phone. Okay, I'll WhatsApp the group. So have your phone, I'll WhatsApp the sheet to your phone. The art scroll. I'll give you my phone. I'll give you my phone in a second. Okay, if you have your phone, if you have an art scroll, you have an art scroll. If you have a phone, try again. You probably got it. So the first pasuk says, "When satem Yisrael lazar akayin." So we said, why do we learn from there? Right? We said that it's the mitzvah is b'sagan. It says v'hoisei michutz lamachne, right? But only one and not another one. The shachar is lefanav, right? Only one. It can only shech one. It can only shech one lefanav, and we learn from the lefanav according to Rav that according to Rav that it's possible bizarre that he has to do it, and according to Shmuel, Rav was hesach hadas, right? Lefanav was hesach hadas, and Shmuel was what that in front of him. That mitzvah is what is only a lazar, right? According to Rav, a regular kohen, right? And according to Shmuel, it brings a lazar back because according to Shmuel, a zar could have shechted before. Number 6, v'lacha kohen es. This is pasuk vav. V'lacha kohen etz erev ve'ezav v'shnisa las, right? Rav says that a regular kohen. And Shmuel says that to teach us that even since a zor was before, that a kohen could be now. That even an ordinary kohen is qualified. Teacher, the kohen is required. Okay, the chibas begadav a kohen. Okay, that's the way the big day kahuna. The word bikihunoi. The tamei akarin ara erev. That all future generations also have to wear that. Then it says v'asa v'ishtar es efa para. Ish means even a non-kohen, Tar is even a woman, and this is a sifa gathering it together, and the nasan v'niach is that a chereshayt of a cotton can't do it because they're not people can put it down, and pasuk yid zayin the lachul the tamei mi'afa service hakatas the nasan love mayim chayim el keli. So the Chacham that says that what those people, the ones who could gather it in, a non-kohen and a woman, right? can go ahead and mix. In other words, those people that were qualified to do the gathering, right? But not people who the same people that do the lakicha, the sifa can mix it in. Rabbi Yehuda says no. Rabbi Yehuda says even a cotton could do it, but not a woman. Then it says v'lacha ezayv b'mayim ishtar v'hiza. The chacham say who can do hazah is the chacham, a man, not a woman, but a tar, even a cotton. Rabbi Yehuda says, right, a tar is even a woman and not a cotton. Okay, so that would be a synopsis, of what we did this evening so far. 3 lines from the top. These are tar tame, tar mechal shu tame. When it says tar mechal, that he was tame. Liminat full yoim shekosher bepara. Okay, guys, this is a very big sugya, right? We began Masechta Yoma with this. 7 days before Yom Kippur, they would separate the Kohen Gadol to the Beis HaParva. 7 days before Sreifas HaPara, they separated the Kohen Shesarfas HaPara to the Beis Even. Beis Even, Kalim, none of them can Kabul Tumah, right? Why are we separating him? And they sprinkled paraduma water on both of them for 7 days. Why did they do this? Because of this. Because the tzedaikim held that the one who does it has to be tahar. We make him a full yom. He went to the mikvah. We went ahead. We matama him, and then because we wanted to show it doesn't have to be a person that's tahar, even a person that's quasi tahar. You know, we could have waited, but no, we don't wait. He's a tamei tar mechal shu tamei, that he was tamei. Limin al tful yom shekasher b'para. Amar Avasi kiyav be Rabbi Yochanan v'reish lakish b'para. When we learn in Masechta Para lemasik mina. We weren't able to lemasik mina. We weren't able to shelzich like we wanted to go ahead and get the psukim straight. Speaking about one straight line. El kamay lemasik talav mibekarva, like a fox lifting its feet through a plowed field. I have no idea what that sushtel is. You have to ask somebody who understands these inyanim. What? Moshe only deals with dead foxes. Moshe does not. Moshe doesn't deal with live foxes. Moshe is not there. Where's Moshe? Out of the field. Yeah, we lost Moshe. Okay. Anyway, and it says, Tani Kamed Rabbi Yochanan, Kol shchita is kasheros bizarre. All shchitas are kosher bizarre. Chutz mishal para, which is the shita of Rav. Rabbi Yochanan poik Tani lebra. Go take that outside. You're not learning the my best medrash. Lematzina shchita bizarre psula. We don't find shchita bizarre is possible. We don't find shchita bizarre possible at all. Rabbi Yochanan let me boy Tana the late saise. Ela feel le rabbis late saise. Not only Rabbi Yochanan listened to this Tana, he didn't listen to his Rebbe. Then Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yitzadek was his Rebbe. Shchitas para bizarre psula. I said Rabbi Yochanan says kashera, and it's seen a shchita shapsula bizarre. We had a shaila yesterday, guys. How do you view the shchita of the paraduma? It's no different. We said it's similar to the kohen. Just like you need a kohen to pronounce a person is a mitzvah, so too you need a kohen to shech. Has nothing to do with the avodas of four avodas adam, and shchita is the first one, and it only says v'hikar v'aron from the Kabbalah v'elach. It's part of the particle of avoda of paraduma, and the shchita there is why if shchita is not an avoda, why would shchita be dafka kohen? So why is Mitzvah dafka kohen? Because there's certain things that are dafka kohen. Those were the two stadim we saw yesterday. So he's saying over here that no, shchita is an avoda, whether it's an animal inside, whether it's the paraduma, and just like shchita is possible inside by Aaron's par, and by any other par, who are then it's kashuat by paraduma. Now we said there were two viduyim done on the par, guys. Two viduyim done on the par. One first, then he did the goyrol, right? Then he set up the shchita. He set up he put the red thread on the B'Shem Shalech. He put the red thread around the throat of the Shem. He put them each place they're going to be, and now he's coming back and he's saying Vidi for a second time. Now the first Vidui he did not mention Bnei Aaron. Vaishna b'videi rishon d'lo yama b'nei Aaron am kadeshecha umashla b'videi sheni dama b'nei Aaron kadeshecha. So Tana Yishmael kachi midas adin. So is the midas adin. Naisenes kach midas in naisenes. Mutav yavai zakai v'chaper alachayev. Better let the zakai come along and mechaper alachayev. Al yavai chayev v'chaper alachayev. In other words, after he got his kapara, the reason we're going to say Bnei Aaron, because now, after he said Vidoy on his first, now he's coming, he's a shtickle cleansed by going ahead and saying it. So better the person who's Mechaper come and Mechaper al Chayiv, the other Kahanim, rather than the Chayiv on the Chayiv. Shachdu the Kibbul Mizrak Esdama. So now they shech the par. He did the Vidoy and the Dam. He shech the par. Guys, the par is between Ulam and Mizbeach. It's closer to the Ulam because the Kohen Gadol, we're worried about the weakness of the Kohen Gadol. He's going to have to bring this blood inside. We don't want to walk him so far. So we had Machloikis where Shechita is, A, B, C, those areas, right? So it's doing as close as possible to the Ulam to add, to make it facilitate it being as easy as possible. Shachla v'kibbul b'zik damai. He when it goes ahead and he does this rika. V'noislan l'mishu memaris. Shachla he's makabel b'mizrak. He doesn't do srika. He's makabel in a kli, and he gives the kli over to the person who will stir it. You know, blood coagulates if you're normal. So, but if you're going to leave the blood, it's going to come a glob. So what do? You have a person stirring it because he's going to have to do all the avoid of ketairis before he does the dam. Guys, again, you're going to come out of your sleep. Listen, here's the second or third time we're doing this. He does video in his par. Good. He comes, he does the goyrel on the goats. He sets up the goats. He now comes, does a video on the par. He shechs the par. But instead of sprinkling the dam on inside the kachik kadashim and sprinkling the dam on the paroiches, he's first going to do the ma'aseh. To facilitate the ma'aseh and the dam not coagulating, he would give it to a kohen who'd be sitting on the fourth stone of the heichal, and he would be stirring it. That's what we're discussing now. So, nice lemishu mamaris by ala roivit ravi on the fourth square. We'll see what exactly that is in the Gemara. Shebehechel kadesh lo yikrosh, in order that it shouldn't coagulate. Natal machta, he would take a fire pan. For all the mizbeach, he would go up to mizbeach hazahav. And he would go ahead and stir the coals, pushing one side to the other side. And he would go ahead and bring it from the coals that are the innermost, the really burning hot coals. He would come down, and he'd leave the fire pan on the floor of the azara. The fire pan with the coals, he'd leave in the same place. Now just describe the fire pans. Each day he would use a silver fire pan, and he would go ahead and pour it into a golden one. It says the Torah is a chasam amayna shall be Yisrael. If you use a golden fire pan, stick it directly in the coals, it's going to be a very expensive proposition. So therefore, let the silver one and then throw it into, it's like a klisheni, right? Going from the silver to the gold is like a klisheni. Today they did b'shal zav. Again, you worry about the chulsha of the kohen gadol, right? And somebody wants to ask me what the inkatega nasa senega, right? Right, okay, we'll see it tomorrow. We'll see it tomorrow. Okay, if you look at the bottom, remind me tomorrow. Okay, we'll see it tomorrow. So
that was my question.
Okay, we'll see it tomorrow. It's a dash. Remind me tomorrow. We'll see it Taisa Yishana tomorrow. Let's continue the flow of the Mishnah. So now, and he would go ahead and bring the fire pan directly in. The pan would hold 4 kavim. And he'd pour it into 3. So you have 1 kav on the floor of coals. They didn't go ahead and in other words, the pan held what? It held 3, and he went and that's it, and he didn't turn it over. Rabbi Yossi says is 6 kavim. It's 3 times, right? You go from 6 to 3, not 4 to 3, 6 to 3. Kavim, again, he agrees. But the machlokes was every other day. That was the machlokes. But this day, this day he would agree. I don't know. It was heavy metal, right? It was heavy metal. It was thick, so it wouldn't burn, but it was heavy. And this day it was thin. It had a short. You know what you wanted to do, fellas. He's been walking a lot. You wanted a long handle so he can support it with his arm. Again, it's heavy. So if you have an arm, let's say it's extended, you could use your arm to help. Every other day, guys, he didn't carry both things. We had earlier, if you recall, when they did the lottery, the person who won the right to do the Ketairis would take the guy next to him to do the machta, according to one opinion. According to Rabbi Yaakov, not. So, and also he didn't have to walk so far. He is walking all the way into the Kodesh Kodashim, and also he's holding both. So it's, again, and he's doing so many other things. We're going to do it as much as possible. So we're making it easy for him by not pouring one into the other. We're making it easier for him by not pouring one into the other. We're also making it easier for him by making it, it's not as heavy. And not only is it not as heavy, it's long handle to help that his arm can go ahead and help support it. Right? Can help support it. It was yaruk. It was like a golden yellow. Vayom Adam was red. Right? Divrei Rabbi. Divrei Menachem. B'choyom makriv pras b'shachus pras ben abayim. Half in the morning, half in the afternoon. Vayom Mosef Molech Hafonov. Right? They would add on to there was 3 Ketarises. There were 2 Ketarises. The one that I do every day, which was one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And this one was what the Molech Hafonov that he did in the Lefnai Lefnim inside the Kodesh Kodashim of the handful. Every day the Ketarius was very thin, and this day was dakim in a daka, was exceedingly thin. Each day the Kahanim, they would go up to the east and they would come down the west. Guys, anytime you would go turn, you'd always turn to the right. So you're always going counterclockwise. You're going up the east, picture the ramp. You're going south to north, east is to your right. If you're going south to north, east is to your right. You're going up and you're turning around and you're kind of going all right, and then you're coming down, right? He would go up in the middle and come down in the middle. Every day he would do that. Every day he would use the kiyar to magdash his hands when he would do the chavitin. He would go ahead and he magdash his hands with what from a flask of gold. We're going to have to go through it. Every day there's 4 payers. This was 5. There was 3. By Yom Levi there's 4. So this is 5-4 or 3-4. If you don't or 2-3, Bez Hashem will see this more barichas as we go on. Thank you all for listening.